Hello, hello, beautiful people. Mi gente bella. Welcome to another edition of Santana Says, where we talk about everything from roadblocks to relationships, everything between, and the overall journey of life. I am excited, as always, to bring you another edition of this show. But this is also our finale episode of the Dope Dad series. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I forgot. I gotta make sure we insert sound, y'all. Y'all don't understand? I need my dinner. I need that. So yeah, I need to get my own button because a lot of podcasters have their little button. However, I'm super excited, what I'm saying, to have this. And thank y'all, because I've been getting a lot of feedback on the Dope Dad. Y'all really feeling it. I had an organization reach out, give some free tickets to an event for the dads that I interviewed. So I'll let you know about that. But hey, it's coming. I didn't know that everybody would be all over this. But no, definitely very excited. And if we were going to do a Dope Dad series, then obviously that means we have to find the dopest dads, you know what I'm saying, in Cleveland.
Sounds good.
So absolutely. So we have another one of those here today. But I definitely, we have crossed paths on the professional side, but apparently we found out we do a lot of things in common, outside of that world. But I would love for you to introduce the good people, tell them a little bit about you. Who are you? A little bit about what brought you here today.
Yeah, thanks, Melissa, for having me. My name is Ronnie Holman. And as Melissa said, we have crossed the professional path.
Bridge, yes, we
sure.
did. Yep.
But we do a lot of this stuff behind the scenes.
Yep.
The same. I am a playwright and also an author based right here in Cleveland.
Let's go.
And I'm excited, about 2025, what it's been and where it's going. And I'm also a great dad.
Yeah,
if I can say so.
Exactly, if I can say so myself. I actually love that. Every dad that came on here was not afraid to say that. So I love it, as you should. Because, sometimes we question. We have no idea what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, half the time. But no, listen, flowers are definitely deserved, for sure. And playwright and author, hello, hold on. And actually, he was being modest, y'all, because I actually saw that it was like award-winning out here. Like, there's all these accolades now. LinkedIn looking real, active, along with the resume. So, I mean, dope, that you even got that recognition. But I definitely want to hear all about that for sure. But also, did we know that was always going to be a path, this whole playwright/author situation, or what's up with that?
I wouldn't say necessarily knowing that it was going to be a path.
Right.
But I've always had a story, my personal story that I wanted to share with the world. I just didn't know how to do it or when I was going to do it at all. But I really came up with this idea maybe about 6-7 years ago. Actually, it was a friend that gave me the title.
Okay.
A love letter to my daughter because of the conversations that we had as far as how much I love my babies.
Yeah.
And they gave me the title. And I was like, maybe one day I'll tap into that.
Yeah.
And the title was already there. And the rest was just writing the book.
Yeah.
So I've written the book. I released it this past January.
Hey.
And it has been great thus far. I just won an award, as you said. Just won an award for it.
Yes.
It's called the International Impact Book Award.
Let's go.
So it is going down. The gala is going down this November. So I'm gonna fly out and receive my award. So I'm very proud of that. Very proud.
And as you should. You know what I'm saying? Because come on now, we don't always get the recognition, you know what I'm saying? But it feels nice when we do.
Right.
And international impact sound pretty big. You know what I mean? Obviously that means that it extends beyond, you know what I'm saying, just what's here. But I think it is a dope message, right? Yeah. Because and also, I don't know that I got to share this with the second dad, just because I don't know that or maybe I realized it with the first, but it actually worked out that all three of my dads or dads of daughters. I didn't plan it. I swear I didn't plan it, y'all. But as I looked, I was like, hold on. It actually happens to be not just dads, but dads of daughters. Yeah. And that's an interesting little journey to navigate, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it is definitely from day one. I mean, I can honestly see the difference between why dads treat their daughters different than they treat their sons.
Yeah.
My daughters are my pride and joy. That's that's I feel like honestly that's all I have are my daughters. I am their protector. You know, I am their confidant. I am their guidance person. I am the person who loved them the most first. You know, and I am the example, honestly, of what a man should be and how a man should treat my daughters. You know, so I was always very careful, tried to be as very careful as I possibly could in how I speak, my vernacular, how I treated their mom, how I interact with any woman, period. You know, I've always tried to be an example to show my daughters how a man should treat you, because that's what you deserve.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. And I love that you're able to do that in twofold, because now what we have not had up until this point, though, is that I know it doesn't always work out this way. And it's also happened in our own lives that, you know, the parents do get to stay together. You know what I'm saying? And can also form that unit. Like, life happens. You know what I mean? And so sometimes it occurs. But thankfully, that's not necessarily, that element is not part of your story. Like, you're able to show them that model as well. Like,
Yeah. See, their mom, I'm not with their mother. We're not together. However, I'm grateful and thankful for their mother. You know, because she gave me the two most beautiful things that I could possibly have.
Absolutely.
And those are my daughters. You know, so I'm thankful for her, although we didn't work out because of our differences or anything. Like I said, my daughters are my pride and joy, and I'm thankful and grateful for her for that.
Absolutely. See, and then what I love is you said it with such great esteem that I almost thought y'all were. Like, I was like, man, you hold her in such high regard, you know what I mean, with all that respect. But I do love to hear that, though, right? Because, I mean, just because y'all ain't work out, you know what I mean? Like, it's still a model that you're setting, like, how you treat their mother, like, is what I heard. And so it's just like, yes, agree. Like, and they're definitely going to notice that no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Like, how your interactions are and all of that. And it's what they're using to form, you know what I'm saying, their perspectives. So I think it's just amazing to know that. And it's good to know that y'all are there, and you know, you've reached that point, because I know for others that's also, it is always difficult when you have kids involved, the relationship doesn't necessarily work. Like, then it just becomes so much more difficult. It doesn't have to be, you know what I'm saying, but like it does. And it's just like, you know, I'm glad when I don't hear that, you know, where people have reached a good point where we're like, come on.
I mean, I'm just being real. I'm not gonna say it wasn't difficult. You know, it was difficult. It was difficult being with a woman for so long, since middle school.
Middle school.
Been with a woman for so long, and now it has to come to an end. So it is a difficult thing to kind of go set your separate ways, or whatever. And I'm sure it was difficult, just as difficult for her also.
Of course.
You have to kind of learn how to coexist, and especially when you have something in common, which is our daughters. You have to make sure that you're able to co-parent properly, because the kids didn't do anything. So I kind of hate to hear situations where kids are caught up in the middle of the battles and things like that. And I never wanted that to be the case. You know, if it took for me to tap out and say, hey, you know, you can have this, you can have that, just to keep peace. And I'm sure the same thing for her. You know, if she was able to take a step back and say, hey, look, I don't want no battles, you know, go ahead. I'm sure she would have. But that was the most important thing to me. I don't want to fight with my daughter's mom, with my ex-wife. And like I said, I don't want my daughters to be caught up in the middle of that. So.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like, as you mentioned, because they don't have to be and they don't deserve to be. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. It's also heartbreaking for me the same, because I'm just like, I know we don't, you know, none of us ask or prepare, you know, are prepared when those situations happen. But it's just like, but once they do, like, we definitely don't want that to be the collateral damage. You know what I mean? Especially if we can avoid it. And no, our babies deserve the best. You know what I'm saying? To be able to see that and agreed. And I agree. Like, it's a huge and wonderful responsibility and an amazing thing to have in common with the person. But just to make sure that they definitely, like, you know, are regarded throughout all of it, you know what I'm saying, and don't feel lost in it or, you know, in any harm's way. So
absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's the lasting image I want my daughters to have of me too. You know, like, my mom and dad didn't work out, but my dad was still a gentleman. My dad still treated my mom with respect. My dad always treats other women he comes across with respect, not as a flirt or anything like that, but just this is how a man should treat women, period.
Yes.
You know, so that's how I want my daughters to look at me when it's all said and done. When I kick that bucket, that's one of the things I want them to know and understand about me.
Absolutely. And I agree. You know what I'm saying? That legacy we build, you know what I'm saying? We do want to make sure that that's definitely an element of it. And I agree, though. I also just, because I do worry about that as the fact that we have daughters, you know, they go on, not only are they from their perspective of the world, but like, I know they're eventually going to form an idea of what a partner should look like, even though that terrifies me, by the way. I don't like it. Yeah, that's the part that I'm like, delulu. I'm just going to live in delusional. They will never date. But I know that they have to. And I definitely will want them to know what qualities to look for now.
Indeed,
you know what I'm saying? Like the good ones.
Yeah.
And not even just good, right? We don't even need no bare minimum. Our babies are the best. You know what I'm saying? So like you deserve the best. You deserve quality. Not just, you know, like, oh, like he's treating you okay, you know what I'm saying, for the moment. But no, like with the utmost respect, with the utmost regard, you know what I mean? And you should, and if they see that, it's going, you know what I mean? It's gonna be very difficult for them not to want that. You know what I'm saying? They seen it from the jump.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. So I have my babies are grown, you know, and I was just having a conversation with my oldest daughter, and I told her it was just about social media, and I told her, I said, be classy. Always be classy with what you post. And if people don't like you or don't want to engage in your post because you're not showing your body or you're not using this type of language and all that, then that ain't for you anyway. You know, always be classy and understand that what you have, who you are, is valuable to anybody. And that's what you have to understand, because what you are, how you present yourself on social media, that's what you're going to attract. And you don't want to come across or keep coming across guys that don't mean you well or anything like that. You want to come across some good, clean, productive guys. I haven't been that. Y'all haven't seen me be that type of guy. So technically, if y'all see this, y'all watching this,
exactly.
Find a man like your dad, like your pops. I'm telling you.
Right.
Telling you.
Right, but you could say that, you know what I'm saying, and like let them know that. But I do agree, and I definitely hear you on. I don't know that everybody always understands how many eyes are out there on social media. You know what I'm saying? Who all looking? And I mean, I think the other perspective that I have on it too is that like the jobs, though. You know what I'm saying? Like people get jobs through social media. You know what I'm saying? We get bookings, like contracts. Things happen because people see it. I mean, we low key connect. So like, even though we cross on the professional side, you learned about my podcast on social media. It was not via, you know what I'm saying, at work. I wasn't talking about it at work. I actually never talked about it at work. Some people found out. But
I was surprised. I'm like,
oh,
wow,
really? What's that? Little secret. Yes. But I agree. You know what I'm saying? It gives us these wonderful opportunities, and you definitely want to know what image are you putting out. So I feel like that's definitely what I heard. And also just to like do not abandon your morals. You know what I'm saying? Just to try to garner an audience, y'all. We ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Not for the clicks. You
for
don't
the
need
likes,
the clicks,
man. You know what I'm saying? For the views. No, we can't live that life. And that's also an exhausting and just like empty life to live. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on now. We ain't never got to do that. But the babies are grown though. So you know what I'm saying? Wow. So you also are on the other side. That's also not something. All dads, they had like younger daughters. One was 13 though. You know what I'm saying? So she getting up there. You know what I'm saying? Teenage now. One was like fresh out. And then yes, you have the grown babies. So like, oh my gosh, is it different? Are you like, oh no?
I would say, to be honest with you, it's no different from when they were younger, you know, because I treat them the same. I know they're grown now. I know they're grown, but they're still my babies. So I'm going to always treat them like my babies. You know, I'm also teaching them, though, how to grow up in certain aspects. You know, like you have to be responsible when it comes to this. You have to understand that and do this that way and this, that, and the other. But they're still my babies at the end of the day. And I still feel obligated to always take care of them. Until that man, that husband comes along, the right guy comes along and able to take care of them, it's my responsibility. And even once he comes along, I'm still probably gonna be like, look, man, you know, like
my number ain't changed.
Exactly. Like, do I have to slide you a couple dollars to make sure you're taking care of my baby? You know, that's how it's gonna be. So I love it. I love it.
No, I agree. No, and I love that, and I definitely love that. influence, but positive. You know what I'm saying? It's also not that you also trying to helicopter out here, you know what I'm saying, or nothing. Right. It's just that it's true, though. You definitely want to still be an ear, because they still going to need you, too. Yeah. That's the other side of this, you know what I'm saying? Right. Obviously, of course, all kids need their parents, but, the daughters need their daddies. Right. So it's just like they definitely are going to need that. And I also love that you're even mention that the reality, you know what I'm saying, is that we do hope that, they figure their things out, whatever, and that you let them. But at the same time, I actually kind of thought it was really cool to hear you say, like, and if I do need to help you, you know what I'm saying, as you were figuring things out, I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah. Because that's not something we also heard. All we heard was like 18, we need to leave the house, you know what I'm saying, get up out of here, figure out your plan.
Right.
What's good? So, like, I don't think we say enough about how, like, no, especially us, families of color, like, we ain't got to do that. We ain't got to kick our kids out immediately. You know what I mean? We can help get them together first.
I don't understand that. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Because I know some people who kids started working at the age of maybe like 14 and 15.
Jeez, yep.
And I never forget, I said, we wonder why sometimes our kids grow up too fast.
Yeah.
Because we push them into that responsibility so fast because we think, oh, this is going to teach them how to be responsible. Yeah. There's other ways to teach your child how to be responsible rather than giving them a lot of that responsibility to start off. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To each his own. However somebody does it, that's how they do it. So I didn't make my babies work. Growing up, I wanted them to focus on their education, school, and both of them were athletes, so I wanted them to focus on sports. Yeah. Daddy, this is my responsibility to take care of you, and that's what Dad is going to do, take care of you, and you work on that part.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I love that. Yeah. And then it's cool, the little athleticism as well, you know what I'm saying, with the girls, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even, because, of course, I'm not saying, the interesting thing is that we both have daughters, because now the thing is, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did have that moment where I was like, dang, I ain't get no son though, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just really didn't work out, because in my case, I got 3 of them, so I'm like, it's a wrap now. I think God has let me know it's not gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless I adopt, bonus babies, I don't think it's, man, but it's not like I also missed anything, because I'm like, I don't even know what you was on with that, you know, because like, these girls are so different that I have. Yeah. These personalities are, man, could not be further, you know what I'm saying, from, like I said, difference-wise, and I love seeing all the different things they do on the athletic side, academic, you know what I'm saying, and otherwise, and like they seeing them shine and knowing I get to be a part of it, like, that's mine, you know what I'm saying, that's my baby.
For sure.
It's an unmatched feeling, like, and I'm glad you got to instill that with them. What sports did they do?
Basketball.
Okay, let's go. Okay, we're a basketball family out here, y'all.
Basketball. That's my favorite sport, although I played baseball, basketball, football. In middle school, I ran track. Okay. They were just pretty much basketball girls. Okay. And I felt kind of bad because, I was doing a lot of coaching, football and basketball. Right. As my girls were growing up. And one of the things that they wanted to do, they wanted to cheer. And the Sundays was for church. Okay. That's how I was raised, and that's how it was for them. Sundays was for church. Yeah. But they wanted to cheer. And I knew I was coaching, but my games were on Saturday. And I knew if they started cheering, they would have to cheer on Sunday. Yeah. So I was just like, no, we're not doing that, because Sundays is for church. Yeah. And that's one of the things, although they've never told me, I'm not going to say they don't feel a certain way about it. They may, but they've never said it to me. Right. But me understanding it and knowing it, I regret not letting them have that moment. Of saying, no, Sundays is for church, and not letting them go ahead and cheer and do what it was that they wanted to do. So when I became a coach, started coaching girls basketball, my oldest daughter, I was excited. Yeah. She had never played basketball. I sent them to a basketball camp one year. They did that, and that was actually a 3-week camp. 2 camps, actually. It was one at Cleveland Heights, 3 weeks, and then it was one for 4 days at Cleveland State University, but it was for college and high school basketball players. Okay. Now, my oldest daughter was in the 8th grade going to high school, and my youngest baby, she was only in the 5th grade. Wow. But she went through this rigorous basketball camp for high school girls and college girls, and the last day, she broke down. She cried, Daddy, I don't want to do it no more. And I just I pushed her. I said, baby, you're here.
Yeah.
You've done it already.
Yeah,
you're
did
the
this.
last day. Go ahead and finish it out. And she did it, and made me so proud to know. And I still say that to this day. And that's just one of the things my youngest daughter had done. But she's just a strong, resilient individual.
Gosh, yes.
And I really appreciate her. I appreciate both of them for that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so.
But wow, seeing your baby, come on, be able to be with the big dogs, you know what I'm saying, in 5th grade.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
I bet it was. Come on now, because they do be pushing. And if it's, if it's set up for high school and college, come on now. They going to be like, y'all got this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get back out there.
Yep.
Oh, my God. I actually was like, that was one of my disappointments though in high school, was that I was at a school that they did not have sports, right? And so then I was able to play for East Tech. And you know East Tech is great with the girls and the basketball. Yeah. And I was set to go to my camp, and then my school decided to get sports out of nowhere. And I was so hurt because then I had to play for them. Yeah. And the coach was a lunch lady. I'm telling you, I was like, what? I could have been learning real skills, and y'all gonna put me with this lunch lady? I'm never, as y'all see, 36, I'm not over it. But like, bro, what? No.
So who did you play with?
Man, I don't even remember. I think at the time, Success Tech, that we just played against other smaller schools, I guess. Because my home school was East High. It still was a school back then. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
My alma mater, baby.
Oh, well, there we go. So I should have been with you. Yeah. But I decided to go to this other little small school, and I regret it. So I should have been with you. That's also a regret. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If we going to say, oh, but that's dope. Yeah, so no, I could have. I should have just stuck with, man.
Definitely should have came over to East High.
See what I'm saying? And I know, and it's the last of a dying breed. Like, now it's a freaking professional center. That's so wild. Center. Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. I'll be like, man, I want to go back. Wish I can go back and coach, you know, my high school team, but it's no longer.
I know. That's the only thing about our school districts now, man. Yeah. It's just changing. Yeah. But I mean, no, but it was an amazing school. And it is historic, I feel like. And my brother did. He went to East High, so there we go. You know what I'm saying? We at least got somebody in the family. Yeah. But nah, man. But those programs are just invaluable, though. They are. And I do love the push. And that's what it was. I also felt robbed because of that, because I actually was looking forward to being disciplined in that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the pushes, and I've learned, even when it comes to athleticism now, and in the gym. Yeah. I mean, I'll go, but I ain't gonna lie. You give me a personal trainer. Then I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what to do. Because, you just give me left to my own devices. I'm not the one. Yeah. I need the push.
That's all right. You know, different strokes for different folks. You know, it takes certain things to get people going. Yeah. And everybody can't do things on their own. You know, and
not in that area.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you aren't strong or resilient or anything like that. Sometimes you just need that extra voice or that encouragement to kind of push you. That's all. So I'm with you on that. Certain things I can't do by myself either. So
exactly. But I love that. But speaking of being able to do things, I do love that your daughters, I'm telling you, like things like that, they can have that encouragement. Now, obviously, given the right support, you see how our babies can blossom, quite literally. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's also what I love to see, is that like we've given them this cool environment where they're able to just grow in such a great way. But I also love that you did say though that, and I appreciate your honesty too, you know what I'm saying, with the fact that like, because I agree, like there's some things that I'm still like, we have to navigate all those different decisions that we have to make as parents, you know what I'm saying, and like what we do give, what we deny, what we keep, what we, you know what I mean, it's a lot.
And not knowing if it's the right decision or the wrong decision.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right, I'm just gonna try. You know what I'm saying? And hope for the best. But you did make mention though that like you were raised in a household where clearly, you know what I'm saying, there were certain set things and traditions. Were those the examples, you know what I'm saying, that you would say that you drew upon from now that you're a father, you know what I mean, and all that? Or like, how was life for Ronnie before?
Actually, it's kind of like the opposite. You know, my dad wasn't there for me. So I wanted to be, and not just there for me, he wasn't in my life. Yeah. You know, so what I wanted to do is be the total opposite of what he was. Yeah. You know, and I wanted to show my girls like, hey, I'm here. Yep. You know, I'm here. I'm going to be here. I'm not going to let anything keep me away from you. Right. And then just the fact of growing up in the inner city, all the distractions that's around you, you know, like selling drugs, being involved in gangs, drinking, all that stuff that I could have done because it was people that were very close to me that started doing it. Right. I could have fell into that. Yeah. But I'm glad, and there had been some rough times, you know, financially, that I was like in a rut and felt like I was gonna never get out. Yeah. You know, but I was so determined if I do these things and I get in trouble, or if I get caught or something like that, then I go to prison. Now I'm no good at all to my babies, you know. But right now, at least if I'm struggling financially, at least I can continue to look for a job. I can come up with a business, or I can go back to school, something like that, to try to make my ends meet. And that was a rough period and a rough time, but I made sure I did what I needed to do to make sure that my babies didn't have to struggle at all, or even see the struggle.
Ooh,
you know, so
not even have to see it.
Yeah.
Come on now. And you know that, that really is a testament in and of itself, is that like now we're in a place like that where we can afford them a chance that you ain't even got to touch this.
Indeed.
Okay. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we did, you know what I'm saying? And we might have navigated that, but you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever your struggle is, ain't gonna look like that kind of struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like it may be because of something else. And I want that too. I love like being able to think about, you know, the decisions that they now make. I want it to be the better, like a more fun decisions. You know what I mean? For you to be grappling with that versus, you know what I'm saying, where are things coming from. But it does drive us. You know what I'm saying? When we've been put in those situations, because I agree with you, the finances have not always been, you know, and I didn't know what it looked like to make these businesses and stuff like that. And now, like, even the LLC, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still, you know, figuring it out as I just recently launched. But then, like, but I'm telling you, like, you know, we definitely had nobody letting us know about that, you know what I'm saying, with the lack of examples behind it. But now it's dope to be able to know that we're affording such a new lifestyle for them. You know what I'm saying? Versus anything we had.
And I'm glad that you said that, you know, as far as making decisions and things, because that's one of the things that I talk about in my book. We're still learning as parents and things like that. So whatever decisions we make, you have to make the decision. You hope that it's the right decision. Sometimes it may not be the right decision. But at the end of the day, you have to still move in a way for the best interest of your children. And like I said, talking about that in my book, of saying that I'm not a perfect dad. I'm not an expert dad. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. When it comes to this, I'm only telling people in my book about the experiences that I had and what worked for me. And there is no book. There is no book. There is no rules, no law, nothing on how you should raise your child. You just have to do the best that you can do, you know, and hope that it comes out, it works best for them. But whatever it is that you do, you have to do it at 100%. Actually at 110.
Oh, really? No, because that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, I'm sure it was not an easy process whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Also being able to do that. And as a book writer too, like, so publishing, did you like self-publish? Did you have to look at, you know, all that? Like,
yeah, self-published. I definitely self-published. But I do have a writing company, publishing company. So I did it under my company,
there we go.
Which is Write For You. That's one of the companies that I have, Write For You, and Pure Productions is my production company. But that's how I did it. I have, you know, people in other places, out of town and things like that, you know, that kind of helped guide me years ago. You know, so I decided to start and do my thing. And what I'm doing all the time is trying to seek excellence. Doesn't necessarily have to be the best, but I'm always trying to make everything that I do be the greatest thing possible. You know, because I want to set the bar and set the standard for people who may be looking at me. Whether it's my daughters or whether it's a friend or somebody who's looking to do what it is that I do. I want them to see, this is something right here. This is an example that I want to follow. You know, so I definitely don't get into like half doing stuff just to say that I did it. I always want it to be great.
I love that. And I just love too that there's also a lot of like cycle breaking, you know what I'm saying, that I've heard, because even as someone who didn't necessarily have his own father in his life, clearly didn't stop you, you know what I'm saying, from making sure that because you're also just, and even like you said, none of us are experts, you know what I'm saying, like you talked about, but it's just like, but you're definitely a father that shows up, you know what I'm saying, clearly a father that ain't never give up, you know what I'm saying, who's still here, and even despite not having that example before, you know what I'm saying, like it did not stop you from wanting to seek that. And I love that even though the temptation was there, you know what I'm saying, like you said, to like and choose another path, even from the beginning, clearly the excellence, you know what I'm saying, was there, wanting to, like, before you even knew how you were going to get there, you know, you made sure that, you know, you formed that path. And I think it's amazing that, you know, we are, and I feel like it's just that new wave, you know what I'm saying, that like the dads that didn't have dads, that don't mean that they're not being dads.
Exactly. And people, you know, people always try to, you know, put them two and together and say, you know, because your dad wasn't there, you're not gonna be there. Nah, that ain't. It's actually, I know in my case, like I said, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, cycle breakers and things. Because my dad was there, I challenged myself to say, like, if I do run into my dad, I did run into him like 10 years ago. I found him 10 years ago. But one of the things I thought about was when I see my dad again, I want him to see what type of man that I am, who I became. I want him to be like, man, my son is like so dope. Yeah. But I ain't had nothing to do with that. Yeah. Actually, you did have something to do with it because you motivated me to be great because you weren't there, because I was so determined to do everything because you weren't there. Yeah. So it's kind of a cliche that people use all the time when they try to say, well, his father was there, so how he know how to be a father? It's actually the opposite. Like I said, it's actually the opposite. Guys want to be opposite of what they were presented because they didn't like it. Yep. You know. Yes. And I did. I broke some generational curses. My mom has 5 kids. It's 5 of us. I'm the middle. 2 older brothers, 2 younger sisters. And I'm the first one in my family. So far, the only one in my family who's graduated, went to college, graduated from college. Oh, hold up. Come on now. And all that. So I want to continue to set that example. Let's go. You know, for my family, and continue to be there for my babies, my nieces, my nephews, my god baby, my goddaughter, you know, who's excelling. Shout out to my god baby too. Hey, come on, shout out to you. Full ride volleyball to James Madison University. So. I mean, let's go. Full ride. Yeah, she's 6'5". Oh, she's God. 6'5". Okay. So we are blessed. We are blessed. Yeah, but shout out to her too. No, seriously. She's definitely been instrumental in my life. Also, although that's my goddaughter, I still look at her as my not biological, but still my daughter. Yeah, you know, and not my goddaughter, because I love her just like I love my biological daughters. Right. You know? Correct. So, yeah. Yep. Shout out to my god baby too. Nadia, I love you. Yeah. But but then no, they're super important, and I think it's just such a cool opportunity to like continue to make sure. But they're also family at the end of the day. So one, it don't matter because you're family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The love absolutely is gonna be there. But yes, it's just an extension. Yeah. You know what I mean? I would just say, but like definitely being able to see that and like pour into them as well is just awesome. But like also you got, no matter where you at, you got the daughters then. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't escape it then. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all around. They're all around. So they definitely keep me grounded. Yes, you know, I'm sure. They definitely keep me grounded, and they keep me on my toes. Yes. Definitely keep me on my toes, because I have to watch after them, as I said, protect them, to make sure that they're well. Yep. You know, and the people around them are treating them with respect and treating them right. But also, you know, my pockets. I do well for myself, but I think I have to make so much more money for these girls. I'm telling you. Hey, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's a beautiful responsibility, sir. Yeah. But I mean, you know, but they know they can also count on that. You know what I'm saying? To look out. So for sure. Exactly. But then too, when it came to all the influence, I know we mentioned her briefly, but was that the one taking you to church then? Was it Mom Dukes? Was that the one? Or yeah, my mom. My mom would, which is still, you know, what I do. I'm in church every Sunday. Yeah. You know. It hasn't stopped. Yep. But she wasn't playing that. You know, you get your butt up and go to church. You going to church. Now, back then, growing up, I was just a member, just going. I wasn't really doing much other than maybe singing in the youth choir. Yep. But I'm also a professional drummer. Okay. I started playing the drums when I was resume stick. Started playing the drums when I was 13. So yeah, that's dope. That is so dope. That became more of a reason too for me to really enjoy going to church, because
Yeah.
I love playing the drums. So I'm like, oh yeah, you ain't got to tell me to get up. I'm getting up, I'm getting dressed, I'm going to church because I get to play the drums today. You know,
exactly.
So that's how I was. So I definitely wanted to give that to my daughters because scripture tells you in the Bible that you train up a child in the way he should go, and when they get old, they won't depart from it.
Never,
you know,
ever,
so
yep.
I want to make sure that I instill that in my babies.
Yes, and I love that. And it definitely could be the saving grace. I know Andrew would love to know that I'm shouting him out as well. Andrew Jones and Elliot Lanier. I actually know 2 boys from our school that play the drums, play them well.
Okay.
They play them well. But they also, yes, it's definitely was something that they said it was such a great positive outlet. You know what I'm saying? And it does make church that much more fun. You know what I'm saying? And then like you get to be up there, and it's a great talent. You know what I'm saying? To cultivate. Come on, now, everybody can't play the drums now.
Everybody can't.
Yeah, they might try. I know.
You have 4 limbs, and all 4 of them are moving to 4 different beats. You know, everybody can't do that.
That is so true. I didn't even think about it like that. But people, what I did notice though is the drummers be sweating at the end. Okay, listen, get the towel for the paper. Yes, exactly. Y'all
good cardio.
That part. But I love that mom did that. You know what I'm saying? And I love that you have cultivated all these great things, and so like, and that you made this awesome book. You know what I'm saying? That like can now serve as this great influence. What do you feel like was the main message though that you wanted people to gain from the book and all that, or maybe that, or in general?
Yeah, the main message is continue to be you. You know, continue to be you. Don't worry about what anybody else tells you that you should be. Continue to be you.
Yeah.
Be the best version of you, though.
Let's go.
Don't settle. Don't settle for this is mediocre me. We know that we can be better at certain things.
Yes.
We know that. And sometimes we try to play and act like we don't know, but we know before anybody else. So if you know you could be better, step it up a little bit. It's not going to hurt you. No. You know, it's not going to hurt you because the benefit is seeing your child. It doesn't necessarily have to be your daughter. It can be your son, or it can be your niece or your nephew, or it can be your godchild. But the best gratification is to see them excel because of something and a foundation that you've laid and set for them. Yes. That's the best thing. So continue to be you, but be the best you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And speaking of the best you, do you got things on the horizon? I know you got a lot going on. You got all these businesses, all these great things.
For sure. Like I said, my new book, A Love Letter to My Daughter, you can get that from anywhere. You can go to Barnes & Noble, you can go to Books A Million, Amazon, or you can visit my website and get it. And also I have because I'm a playwright, I have a new stage production coming up.
Okay.
In September 20th, downtown Cleveland, Playhouse Square. It's called The Cost of Love.
Ooh.
I'm excited about this production.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, November we're heading down to Atlanta with it. And then my play from last year, which is called The Morning After, that will be on Off-Broadway in New York City.
Wow.
In April. So,
oh my gosh.
So I'm doing a lot.
Okay,
I'm excited about it, but this is my life.
Yeah.
This is my life. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like that would be its own separate show just to even get into like the playwright and like all that stuff. But was that a lot of trial and error? Did you just have to submit stuff? Just kept writing until somebody picked up on it, or like?
No, just I went to undergrad. I went to Cleveland State University, majored in journalism and promotional communication.
Okay.
And one of my classes was it was theater critiquing. So we had to learn as journalists how to read scripts and how to critique it in a journalistic way.
Oh, got it.
And I remember I wrote a script for my very first production. I was like, I want to write plays. Because I was in a movie, I had a very small role in a movie in Cleveland. And I was just like, I can do this. I really can. Right. And I wrote the script and I gave it to my professor, who's an equity actor in Cleveland. So he does all the professional productions. I gave it to him and he gave it back. He said, do you want this back? I said, sure, absolutely. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah. He said, I didn't finish it. I said, okay. So he gave it back to me, and I seen why he didn't finish it, because it was so many red marks through the whole script. And I was just like,
oh,
man.
No, I've been destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. It was so bad. And a lot of people would get discouraged from that.
Yeah.
But that didn't discourage me. I said, I'm still doing this anyway.
Yeah.
And I did my very first production. I did three shows on my very first production.
Yep.
Sold them out. And from there, it's just been going. So I've been at this now for 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 11 years.
Let's go. Over a decade in here, out here. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Man, but that's amazing. And I mean, I might be a secret actress. So, if you ever need somebody, but whatever. Since we're here, thank you. You know what I mean? I got to shoot my shot, y'all. Shoot my shot. But I love that. I do think that there's obviously there's so many messages you can convey. You know what I'm saying? With that, it's such an other cool art form.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? To have. And then, so do you cross paths with Brad Halsey? That's the only other playwright I know in Cleveland.
No.
Okay.
But actually, no, I ain't gonna say I crossed paths with him, but when he first started off, he reached out to me.
Okay.
Yeah, he did reach out to me, and we spoke briefly on social media, but we've never, talked in person or anything like that. And I did go support one of his productions, I think maybe his first or his second production that he did, because he hasn't done many, but I think it was like the second production that he did. It was at I believe Cleveland State or either Tri-C, one of them.
Right, one of them.
And I went to support him in doing that. So so this is what I do. I've been going at it, like I said, for 11 years now, and I'm still going at it, and I'm gonna keep going at it.
As you should.
Yeah.
So so I know that, and I love it. I'm glad that you are doing that. I hope folks are inspired by your journey, because I sure am. And so, you know what I mean, that you gain something from it. But also, if you want to keep gaining from it, the book is available. So, you know what I'm saying? Please grab that. But also, I would love for folks to also be able to connect with you, you know what I'm saying? If they want to continue the convo, maybe they heard something that resonated.
Yeah.
Is there ways, what are the other ways that they can find you?
Yeah, my social media first. You can find me on IG at Cleveland_playwright. Playwright is PLAYWRIGHT.
There we go. Y'all heard it.
That's the correct way. Playwright. On IG. Facebook is just Ronnie Holman. And also my website, www.ronnielholman.com. RonnieLHolman.com. That's RONNIE.
There we go. Yeah, just so y'all know. Come on now. Yep. Spelling is important.
Yeah,
just make sure you don't end up on the wrong site, y'all. We need to make sure. Yes. So I love that. I hope y'all definitely feel encouraged to reach out. Please do. And I thank you, of course, for coming on. That's all about it. Rounding out, yeah, absolutely. And rounding out our Dope Dad series in the best way. Yeah. But also thank you all to all of you. Every time we get to the end of the episode, I'm so grateful that y'all rock with us. Listen, hope you gain something from it. And on another Feel Good Friday, we're going to do it again. So definitely stay tuned with us. Thank you, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, peace.
Yes.